Hi, everybody. John Daly here, along with Crockett of Selworthy. We are joined by Alan Winters, co-founder and COO of Vigoroom, a unique corporate wellness platform that can keep your employees healthy while keeping your healthcare costs down. Alan, welcome.
Thank you, John. Hi, Chris. How are you guys doing?
How you doing?
Doing great, thanks. Okay, so the website's real simple. It's vigoroom.com, vigoroom.com. So Vigoroom is loaded with courses, exercises, and so much more. And you can't get this anywhere else. When people use Vigoroom, Alan, what exactly will they be getting?
Yeah, I'd say we're known, John, for three things in particular. One, as you mentioned, is our robust content. We have the largest programmatic wellness content library in the space in the world. And I'll go into that in a little more detail in a second. So people are really attracted by content they can't find anywhere else. Second thing is we have a platform that houses this content, and we put a really high priority on ease of use. And when I say ease of use, I mean for users, which is typically employees or patients, and for administrators, because when it comes to technology-based products, the more complex, the less utilization. So we really put a premium on making it easy. And the third thing that I think is distinctive about what we offer and why folks are interested in us is we've built in a very unique coaching system within our platform. And the entire purpose of the coaching system is to increase accountability and to reinforce good behaviors of clients.
Okay, great. Now you're actually expanding your content to the health needs that are growing out there right now in the market. Talk about some of those new ones.
Yeah, let me tell you first what we have, and then I'm going to tell you where we're expanding. So right now, we focus heavily on nutrition and weight loss, exercise. We have literally a gym within our platform of 400 original exercises, from running to yoga to strength training to Pilates. We have financial wellness. We have a lot of mental health programming, from stress to depression relief. We have pregnancy support. So we've got really a very holistic approach in our content, which is to check all the boxes, but always to be coming from a particular orientation, which is educate, provide insight, and then take people to action. So that's sort of the philosophy of our content. And you talked about what we're adding, and I'm really excited about what's coming up. And there's three areas that are getting particular focus. One is joint health and joint degeneration. The other is digestive health. And the third is expanding our mental health offerings. The first two things I mentioned are two of the five largest cost centers in the health sector. So along with cancer, diabetes, and heart health, which everybody would say, those are very significant, digestive health and joint degeneration are the next two most expensive things. So in the joint area, we have added most recently a whole series of videos for joint rehabilitation and flexibility, everything from your feet and ankles to knees to back to shoulders to hands and wrists. This is the sort of stuff that affects everybody. Again, you won't find this in any other wellness platform. But we're also adding programming for osteoarthritis and arthritis. It's a big category, and particularly for baby boomers, but also for younger folks, because joint issues tend to kick in by the 40s. On the digestive health front, we've added two new experts. We're adding a GERD program and an IBS program. The percent of Americans who are suffering from digestive health disorders is in the tens of millions, and it's incredibly costly. So we're adding programming for that. And a lot of our programming is based on lifestyle change, lifestyle management. How can you adjust your nutrition, supplementation, your exercise routines, your management of sleep and stress? All those influence these conditions. On the mental health side, in addition to our very unique depression relief program, which is a 35-day inside the platform program from the head of clinical psychology at a major US university, we're adding a generalized anxiety disorder program. We're also adding a health and psychology program. Think of all the people dealing with pain management. And think of how pain is exacerbated by things that are more to do with mind than body. So we have a new contributor who's a psychologist in the Northeast who's doing a program on health and psychology, and also a separate program on healthy pregnancy and psychology. So we're adding mindfulness programs and additional meditation programs for a different approach to stress and anxiety management. Guys, let's face it, in the time we're living in now, where many people are cooped up in their homes, they're not going to their offices, they are kind of captives in their home space, the level of stress and anxiety and even a sense of isolation that is coming from this needs to be dealt with. So although our mental health offerings that are existing and that are coming are good anytime, they're particularly relevant now. Beyond that, we're actually adding programs for addiction relief, both for the addict and for the support group, friends and family of the addict who want to do the right thing and not the wrong thing. So our content roadmap for both this year and next year is really wide and deep, but it always goes back to our core philosophy: educate, provide insight, and take people to action.
And would you agree that this is both taking care of pre-existing conditions as well as being preventative?
It's both, for sure. Yeah, so here's how we look at pre-existing conditions. How do we intervene to either slow down the progress or the acceleration of that condition, or how do we prevent it? So how do we so those are the two ways we look at things. So for example, for the 30 plus million people with type 2 diabetes, they've been diagnosed with diabetes, they have to manage their blood sugar. So what we're looking at is, how do we reduce the severity of any condition? So for that person, we have diabetes-specific exercise programs actually segmented by beginner versus intermediate versus advanced level exercisers. We have nutrition programs specifically for blood sugar management. Again, how do we intervene? And possibly even more interesting than those areas is a mindset program for how do you even get your head around the fact that you're going to need to make lifestyle changes in order to actually control your condition, which if anybody is reading the newspapers, you realize that you have existing lifestyle disease, your susceptibility to things like coronavirus go up dramatically. So if you have high blood sugar, high blood pressure, you have heart disease, high cholesterol, or obesity, this is a majority of the US population, your chance of getting a pandemic goes up quite a bit versus the more healthy portions of the population.
All right, great. Now, let's get into a little bit on the business side. This is really a B2B product. An individual can't just sign up for Vigoroom. They need to be an employee or a patient of one of your business customers, right? Explain that.
Yeah, that's correct. Our focus is not the direct-to-consumer market, and there's certainly a lot of good products for exercise and nutrition and other things that anybody could buy directly. Our focus is on population health management for groups of people. So, like you said, John, that could be an employee of a company, could be the patient of a health provider. That can be a hospital or a primary care physician practice, could be members of an organization. And our philosophy is that there is a cultural approach to wellness that can really be magnified by commitments of organizations. So in our client base, there are hospitals, there are primary care practices, there are small and mid-sized businesses. One of the ways we do business is someone takes our platform and they make that available to their captive groups. And it includes all of our content, and it includes coaching and all that. But we also do business with large corporations where they actually just engage with our content. So for a large corporation that already has their own applications and platforms and doesn't want another application made available to their constituents, we actually do large content licensing deals. And the reason these companies are interested in our content, as the head of population management for a large European company said, I've never seen anything like your content. And I said, yeah, you can Google stuff, you can go to WebMD to find information, but you're not going to find programmatic content that's more like taking a course that's self-guided, where a really high-end MD, clinical, behavioral psychologist, exercise physiologist, nutritionist, dietitian, or financial wellness expert is taking you on a journey with a beginning, middle, and end. So we license our platform to companies, and we license just our content to companies as well.
All right, Chris?
Now, Alan, what would you consider some of your best potential clients?
It's the sweet spot of the healthcare space. So it's large providers of services like hospitals. Mm-hmm. It's primary care practices, and it's primary care practices, particularly ones that are taking an innovative approach to this business. We're engaged with a company out of Texas that's in the concierge medical business called MyMD Connect. And this is a company that's whole business practice is based on doctors spending more time with patients. Just think, guys, when you go to a doctor, even in a really high-end health system, you're lucky to get more than 5 or 6 minutes in the office. And typically you will leave and say, oh no, I forgot to ask 3 questions. And the reason you forgot to ask is because you were rushed. So we are really interested in our relationship with this particular company because, again, their premise is physicians in this concierge medical space will spend lots of time with people. Now, by working with us, physicians will be able to deploy all sorts of usable content and programming as it relates to weight management and exercise, so that when the doctor says, okay, you need to exercise, usually in a typical patient-doctor interaction, that's all you hear. But now the doctor's going to be able to say, I want you to do this series of walking programs through the Vigoroom platform. You need to build muscle. I want you to do this through the Vigoroom platform. The reason you gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, and yo-yo diet is because you have emotional eating issues. I want you to do the 21-day emotional eating program that's in the Vigoroom platform. So the way we see it is, for health systems and primary care practices, they now have a tool where they can deploy our content, whereas before they just said, okay, do this, and see the patient and they say, okay, do this, but there's no accountability and there's no way to actually hand something to somebody other than maybe a printout, which is not really that effective. The other real place that we focus is small and mid-sized companies. And small and mid-sized companies have a perfect opportunity to intervene before health issues become big issues. We've been working with a company that's in the analytics space that has really shared lots of valuable information with us about the kind of savings that you can produce by jumping in at just the right time with a wellness solution. So what we're talking to companies about is we are not a typical wellness product. We are a product where you could have the healthiest person on your staff, but they sleep horribly. You could have another employee who is on really expensive medication for joint issues, and we can help them and potentially get them off that medication. That's really where we're looking. It's the heart of the healthcare space and attacking the key healthcare issues, and then the influencers of those issues like stress and sleep and mental health.
So from an executive standpoint, it sounds like the, let's say, top 3 benefits would be providing health-related information to employees of an organization, but also cost savings in keeping healthcare costs down so that employees are being preventative, keeping up with their health where they may not be able to, and additionally, maybe making them more efficient in their work environment as well. Would that be correct?
That'd be correct. And one thing, Chris, I should throw into the mix is we really emphasize our company clients engaging with our challenges. So we have over 4 dozen challenges in our system. They range from challenges you might expect, like walking challenges, fitness challenges, fat loss challenges, and challenges you might not expect related to sleep and stress management and financial wellness and even positivity and expressing gratitude. So a key way companies can engage their employees and get them working on anything. And the key is to get people doing something, because the typical company, 5% of their employees are fitness and health enthusiasts. They're fanatics. And maybe another 15, 20% do some healthy behaviors. And the majority of their population doesn't do anything. So we use our challenges really on a regular basis. And our first question to our clients after we ask, what are your goals? What are your company goals? And the answer could be, Chris, we want to lower costs. The answer could be, we want to have a more satisfied, productive employee base. And what we try to say to them next is, one of the tools you're going to use is you're going to be executing challenges all the time, ideally on a monthly basis. Mm-hmm. So what does that do? It has health benefits. And two, it has cultural benefits, which are bridging the gap between senior level people and junior people, because everybody can get sick and everybody can be overweight. So our challenges are a key piece of the puzzle for how we service companies and clients.
So once someone becomes a client, how long does it take them to fully adapt your platform?
It's pretty quick. We do have an indoctrination period, and this is a period where we are clarifying health goals and business goals, where we're setting up challenge schedules. We're really talking about, Chris, if somebody wants to move quickly, it's a 7-day to 10-day process. If somebody wants to move slower, we can move slower, but it's a really turnkey platform, even from the point of view of the look of our platform. It's customizable. The name Vigoroom disappears. The company name appears both on a desktop application and inside an Android and iOS phone application, so mobile application. So that takes a little time to set up, but the truth of the matter is this can be activated very quickly. There's an option for companies to customize our platform. They can add content to our platform. They could add a category of programming. They could add just a program, an exercise, a recipe, a video, a PDF, and they could do that anytime they want. So the degree to which they want to customize typically influences how fast they can start. But if somebody said to us, we would like to start next week, that's not a problem. Sure, we could do that.
So adopting a platform like this would obviously be great, especially given right now, because everybody's at home. People aren't probably getting health, exercise benefits that they normally would be in commuting to work, going up and down a staircase, whatever it may be that you do during your normal hustle bustle when going to work. So how can a company take advantage of this with everything going on right now? What are some of the benefits? Like, dive into that for us. If I were a CEO of a company saying, hey, listen, I need to really help my employees out right now. They're just at home and I want to do something for them that helps them out with their healthy lifestyle. I know you also mentioned with recipes. Talk to me about that a little bit as well.
Yeah. I think, any wellness platform will be helpful. Mm-hmm. So I just want to make that statement. Anything will be helpful. Why would ours be particularly helpful? I think it's the range and breadth of what we offer, because that person sitting at home who is probably going outdoors with a mask occasionally, that person sitting at home has all sorts of different issues. One person needs exercise, and we've got our gym in a box inside our system with 400 exercises, guided exercises. By the way, those exercises have come from trainers who have trained everybody from Brad Pitt to Tiger Woods to Julia Roberts to Hugh Jackman. So how cool is it? You're sitting at home and you're doing an exercise with a celebrity trainer who might charge $100 to $200 an hour for their private sessions. So one thing is you could do exercise at home. The second thing is you're probably doing way more cooking than you have ever done. You can only take out from local restaurants, the ones that are still open, so often. So we've got recipes in our system, but we also have guidance for, there's a particular program I really like called Mindful Meal Planning. How do you create a really healthy meal on a tight budget with limited time? So we help people with nutrition. If somebody is feeling isolated, depressed, anxious, stressed, we've got that in our system. So I think for companies that used to bring 250 people into a building and now have 250 people scattered across homes and apartments in their community, this is a way to still service them and service them in a way that probably is more, that they need even more than ever before because they're isolated. Even people with healthy family units, and not everybody has a healthy family unit, even those people are going a little stir crazy. So this brings vitality, energy, joy, problem solving to their world. And the nice thing is, Chris and John, folks can do this any time of day or night. They could do it at 9 in the morning or 10 at night. They could do it any time because everything is on demand. And I think when someone enters into particularly our programmatic course-like format, where they're going day to day, where each day they have a video or podcast from an expert, they have a little bit of written material they consume, they get points for progressing through our system because our whole system is gamified. So there's an attaboy feeling to this whole thing. And ideally, we tie those points to incentives based on a plan we set up with our company clients. You can engage people in a way that brings everybody together, even in many different locations. And actually, several of our clients have employees who are naturally in different locations, and they use our platform to bridge the geographic gap between people.
What would you say is the biggest obstacle in getting companies to acquire a platform like yours?
It's probably two. One is they don't want to pay anything. They just don't want to pay for the topic called wellness, which we think is short-sighted because you will pay more later in higher medical costs. So I'd say one is just like, are they going to allocate funds to do this? And I think the second is, can they allocate time to do this? And this is where you may recall at the top of this discussion, I said, one of our key values is making wellness easy, not just for the user, but the administrator. So the second point of resistance is HR people in particular are really busy. They have too much to do. So what we say to them is, to set up your whole employee base on our system will probably take you about 15 minutes. To initiate a challenge will take you about 60 seconds. They'll ask us, well, what about reporting and tracking? We'll go, you don't have to do anything. We've had a client who ran 7 challenges simultaneously, and it was no more work because all the reporting, selection of winners, leaderboards is totally automated. All reporting is automated. So what we say to them is, we're priced very fairly relative to the wellness market. In fact, many brokers tell us, you're priced too low. And we say we're a relatively new company. We should be priced relatively low. And the second thing we say is, we don't want to take a lot of your time. You're going to get a client services rep from Vigoroom, and this is not going to be a second job for you. In fact, it's going to be so turnkey that even our incentive system is hooked to a healthy rewards redemption program. So if we can set that up with you, your employees are going to get points for using things in our system. They're going to convert those points to dollars based on a formula we set up with you. And they're going to convert those dollars into healthy purchases of things like juicers, exercise equipment, workout earbuds and headphones, all integrated into our system. So those are the two biggest things. Somebody needs to have a budget and somebody needs to allocate a little time. And we try to address that by pricing our product relatively low and making it really easy to use.
John, any other questions from you?
Yeah, Alan, can you just kind of give us a hint on the pricing? Because there's going to be some CEOs out there who are going to say, okay, how good is it as far as price goes?
I'd be happy to share that. And it does change periodically, but as of today, we have a basic pricing schedule, which is up to 1,000 employees. We charge $3.25 per eligible person per month. So basically that says for a 100-person company, this costs $325 per month. We have price breaks as we get populations bigger than 1,000 people. For very large populations, there's pretty sizable price breaks. And we have a one-time only setup fee. It's $199. That's to customize your platform, to train you in the platform, to get you totally set up and launched and ready to go. And that's a one-time only fee. That's our price schedule. It's pretty straightforward.
Is there a minimum?
And then,
actually, good question. We get asked that a lot. I'm glad you asked. No, there is no minimum. We are happy to do business with a 1,000-person company, a 5,000-person company, and a 17-person company.
Alan, you touched on this before too about the changing healthcare scene, and you've realized that most people need to be incentivized. You talked about that, to take control of their healthcare. Well, most doctors, they want to be doctors. They don't want to be coaches. Talk about that niche and how important it is for preventative care and to keep costs down, that companies can actually incentivize their employees.
Incentives, John, are pretty much the critical factor in, are you going to have low participation or are you going to have moderate to high participation in programs like ours? Most people don't readily take to management of their own health. They just don't. So any incentives that can be set up are going to encourage people to participate. And the area of incentives are pretty interesting. We studied it hard. We've see on marketing and healthcare incentives at the university level. And here's what we've discovered. The best incentives are things people won't do for themselves. So they may be experiential, doing something they wouldn't otherwise do. They actually could be things that people can acquire. So if you don't have time off, you can't buy time off. But if a company gives you paid time off for participating in a wellness platform, in a wellness challenge, participation rates go through the roof. Getting a Jamba Juice gift card is actually not that special. Any of us could buy a $10 Jamba Juice gift card. That doesn't really move the needle that much. Significant discounts on insurance premiums for participation moves the needle. So what we've discovered is there need to be incentives if there's going to be really great participation. If you're going to have really great participation, that's what's going to change health outcomes. And by the way, we report both participation or engagement, and we report outcomes if we have access to health screening data. So we say to our clients, at the end of a year's contract, you're going to evaluate us based on employee engagement and participation. And if we have access to health data, you're going to evaluate us based on outcomes. But we feel really strongly, John and Chris, that having some form of incentive is a pretty big piece of this puzzle if you want to do this seriously and have good results.
All right, that's a lot of good stuff. Chris, can you think of anything more?
That's all from me.
All righty, cool. Well, we've been speaking to Alan Winters, co-founder and COO of Vigoroom, a corporate wellness platform. If your company is interested, check out their website, which is vigoroom.com. That's vigoroom.com. Alan, thank you so much. Great stuff.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen. John, Chris, thank you very much.
All right, for Chris Crockett of Selworthy, I'm John Daly. Thanks for joining us and stay healthy.